Jesse Peng is well known in tech, real estate, and investing, but he's also behind the store in Richmond, BC called VancityCJ, which is based off of passion and not profit. In this episode, we're going to dive into how Jesse turned his passion into something bigger, the balance between collecting and financial responsibility, and how to stay grounded in a hype driven space. So, whether you're looking to build a career out of what you love or simply want to collect smarter, this episode is for you. Welcome to Grow Up, Level Up, How We Play. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Grow Up, Level Up, How We Play, the interview podcast where we talk to folks about how they integrate games into their day-to-day life, how it influenced them growing up, and how they, I guess in this episode, give back to the community. My name is Samson, aka Samson XP on the interwebs, and joined to me today, of course, is my co-host, Jordan. Jordan, how's it going?
It's going great.
Amazing. Hey, and I don't want to let our audience hang on any longer. We're bringing in an awesome guest today, Jesse Peng. Welcome to the show.
Thank you guys for having me, Samson and Jordan.
It's awesome. You know, as I was doing that intro, I realized that you don't really have a title behind you. Like usually I'll be like, oh, this is a community manager at so-and-so, or this is I don't know who else we've had, CEO of whatever. But as I was doing it, I'm like, oh, I guess that's Jesse, you don't really have a title. So why don't you introduce yourself? Tell us, what do you do? And what title would you give yourself, I guess?
Title. Yeah, that's very interesting. There's a lot of titles that, you know, in different spaces or different interviews, different podcasts, people give me different titles. But right now, my main job is being an investor, angel investor and real estate investor. I'm on the board of a few tech companies. I've built multiple startups in the past, some successful, some not so successful, as you know. And I like to talk about my failures just as much as I talk about my wins. And I feel like that's really important as an entrepreneur nowadays, because usually when people talk about, you know, their investment portfolios or their entrepreneurial journey, it's always the wins. But it's really tough as a younger entrepreneur or person that's listening to these people talking, because you feel like you're so lonely. But I guarantee you, every single one of those people that you see up there has failed more than you have. So they just, like, you see them up there doing what they're doing now. But yeah, there's multiple things that I'm doing currently. But just a little bit of background on myself. I actually went to school. I went to UBC for computer engineering. I built multiple SaaS companies, tech startups in the past, you know, from kind of like a social network that's interest based, like Meetup type of style, to a booking platform for hairstylists. And
wow.
and I've invested in real estate from the money that I exit from my first startup, and built one of the leading digital marketing companies in the real estate industry over the last 4 or 5 years as well. And I was in all kinds of industries, mostly real estate, Web3 now, and collectibles technology. But the topic that we talk about today is how my Pokemon card collecting journey has shaped my life up until this point. So I kind of wanted to maybe go into a little bit of a detail in that regard. In 2019, right before COVID, my wife and I kind of like got back into Pokemon card collecting, and we were just ripping packs casually. I remember the first set that we really went hard was like Evolutions and then Hidden Fates. And then COVID hit, and then nobody could go anywhere, so we started ripping packs like crazy. And I remember we had a genius idea one day because we couldn't get any packs. It was pretty much as bad back then as it is now.
Oh, yeah.
And we just had a genius idea lying in bed. We're like, hey, why don't we just get a shop and then get the distributors to sell us unlimited product at wholesale? So that's how it worked in my head, right? So we're like, I'm the type of person that's really good at executing. So when I have a thought, I always start right away. So next day, we found like a very cheap and small shop to rent in Richmond
The
and called
next
the
day.
distributors, because my understanding is once you have a brick and mortar shop, you can get a
Mhm.
distributor account and get unlimited product. And then the first thing our distributor rep said to me is, Jesse, this is not going to work. Your shop is not going to last 3 months because you're not going to get any product. I was like, what do you mean I'm not going to get any product? And then he was like, yeah, you're not going to get any product for a very long time. So in my head, that means like, a couple of cases here and a couple of cases then. No, I remember our first release in 2020 was Darkness Ablaze, and we got one booster box for that
Wow.
set. So I was like, damn, we just opened the shop for nothing, because our whole idea for the shop is to have a shop there so we can get product to rip for ourselves.
Right.
But then
the loophole.
yeah, that really didn't really work, and we had to like CJ, my wife, had to be at the shop for like 5-6 hours a day for like 5 days a week so the distributor knows it's not a fake shop. And then people started
Wow.
walking in and selling us cards. So we're like, oh, wait, this is super cool, because we're collectors. So we got to buy a bunch of like collections from people that just walked in, and it turned into a shop, not because we wanted to, all of a sudden run a Pokemon card shop, but because we wanted to collect for ourselves and get packs to rip. And then it just like serendipitously grew to where it is today. And for the first 3 years, VancityCJ, well, it's called VancityCJ because my wife's name is CJ, so she runs the shop, and I was at the time running my digital marketing company, Limitless Global Media. So I was only at the shop maybe once or twice a month, and she was there every day. But like I mentioned in Samson, for the first 3 years, we actually didn't pay ourselves like anything. When we had profits at the end of the year, we donated to either the BC Children's Hospital or to like different charities. And we just like had the shop so we can get product for us to rip and buy collections for ourselves, and a place to meet all our friends. Our closest friends nowadays, all like we met through the hobby, which is kind of crazy because to me, this is like the only place you can meet after you're like a grown up, and also like being
no
in the
school
position
anymore.
that I am now as an investor in different industries. Like everybody else that I meet outside of this space, I feel like it's hard for me to really trust and let into my life. But the people that do share the common passion in Pokemon cards, I feel like it's almost like a time capsule and a connection to how I was as a kid and how we met friends just through just like straight passion. And yeah, so it's been such a gift to us. And I've also kind of like pivoted my main philosophy and my business into collectibles technology, because I wanted to really push the hobby forward, and the industry that I'm so passionate about through innovation and technology, which is kind of like what I'm passionate about, is just building things that can disrupt an industry that I care about. So that's kind of like my main focus now, other than being a collector.
Wow, that was I applaud you for
All
that,
right.
like very succinct but great history of not only you but VancityCJ and your interest in your hobby. So that's awesome. And now it's like you gave us a path forward with collectibles technology. I can't wait to
Yeah.
explore what that means. I guess backing up a little bit, then we started at 2019.
Yeah.
What about why Pokemon? Why Pokemon cards? Like why that and not sports cards or I don't know Funko Pops? Why Pokemon?
Give me one. Let me grab something and I'll show you.
Oh, okay.
He's got props.
So
I mean, check out that background, but
for audio listeners, yeah, come over to YouTube, check it. You can see Jesse's, I'm assuming, personal collection in the back. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Jesse also just went up to go grab something.
Grab
when I asked
something.
him. Yeah.
I also like, I don't know if you know about this, Samson, but I probably have one of the largest personal collections in Canada in terms of Pokemon cards. So yeah,
that's awesome.
It's almost scary for me to say like what the total value is, but
you don't have to. If you need to insure it, I'm sure we could assume it's something wild.
it's like multi 7 figures.
Oh, that's crazy. Well,
yeah,
I guess
let me find a. Let me show you. Go ahead. I'm just looking for a picture to show you and this.
Oh, sure. I was just gonna say, like, well, we're jumping ahead, but like, how? Maybe we'll talk about this later in the show. How do you even build up towards a value of that? And like, Was it? Did you trade up towards it? Did you just invest money from other places towards it? Like, how do you even get to that wild number?
Yeah, I can
But
get into the details of that. But
Sure.
as you can see, this is
oh, for audio listeners, we're seeing a
Yeah.
picture on the phone. Looks like a
this
little
is
child.
2001. This is 8-year-old me.
Aw.
Is that a Pikachu cup? Is it a drink?
You see that Pikachu? No, it's a Pikachu like stuffy.
Okay,
Oh,
yeah.
This guy?
Yeah. It's coming.
Oh, there it is.
Wow.
Oh boy,
Dude.
that
I
is
still
some
have 'em.
legitimate merchandise.
Yeah, this guy has been with me since like 1999 or 2000.
Wow.
He's an
So-
OG.
Yeah, so I'm a very nostalgic person. Okay, so nudity alert.
YouTube,
Don't worry,
don't
I'm
know
wearing
what-
underwear, but there's me.
Are you playing a game or are you holding?
Those are cards,
No, I'm
right?
just holding a bunch of cards.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
That you
yeah.
can see. Every single picture of me
Yeah.
from back then that my dad found involves me holding like a Pokemon card
Aw.
or like a binder or like my Pikachu or Charizard or whatever. This is my childhood. I grew up with this, and when I was a kid, I moved to the San Francisco Bay Area with my parents when I was like 6. So it was like a brand new environment for me, and I didn't speak the language at the time, right? And I was super lonely. I had no friends. I was bullied at school, and I found Pokemon. Like this was my friend, right?
Mhm.
So that was kind of like how first of all, I learned English through watching the anime,
Yeah.
pretty much.
Right.
So
I
was,
think I
like,
learned to
saying,
read
like,
through playing the
"Use you" and
games
stuff.
too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So this is like part of my childhood that I'm still like trying to cling on to, because I feel like that's like a simpler time where there's like I don't have the pressures of like running companies and having to make payroll, making sure that like paying the bills and just like dealing with investors, dealing with customers, like all this stuff that's like kind of like everyday pressure of just being who I am, being an entrepreneur, investor, former CEO of multiple companies. To me, that was like, this is the only time I get to connect with the 8-year-old me, right? So it's something that I just kept holding on to, and I was always, before I even got back into Pokemon cards, I was like still watching like the anime. I was still playing the games. I was playing Pokemon Go. And with the cards specifically, it's really weird because I'm like the biggest basketball nerd you'll ever meet. Like I know everything about every
who's your team?
basketball player. And I just never collected sports cards because growing up I collected Pokemon cards, and to me, I'm a really like financially conscious person. So I know my collecting tendency is I am very competitive. I need to get to the top of that collecting world. And because I never really had a memory of collecting sports cards when I was younger, I didn't want to start when I was older, because if I do start, I feel like I'm going to put in like $10 million and try and buy every like Steph Curry card there is out there. And to me, like, that's not smart. So I'm very disciplined in knowing myself and not getting into it.
Wow.
So Pokemon cards is kind of like my escape and the path that I chose.
Okay, so you're like, it's a balance of passion as well as like you use discipline, but like almost logic of like, okay, I'm not gonna put myself into that Steph Curry hole.
Yeah, exactly.
Do you have any cards from your childhood then that are still part of your collection today? Like, did you hold on to any of those cards in the photos that you showed earlier?
Yeah, every single card you see there, I still have. But they're in terrible condition, right? So they're not worth anything. They're not graded. They got ketchup on it. It's how I enjoy my cards. Obviously, 6, 7, 8-year-old me wasn't thinking this could be worth money in the future, right?
You weren't investing at 6 years old.
Exactly. The dumbest thing I did was, I remember I went to the pool, and I was like, I'm gonna bring my water Pokemon with me. So I brought my water Pokemon cards and I jumped into the pool with my cards. And then I came out, I was like, oh no, what happened?
Yeah, I have a 6-year-old, and I could see that happening.
Yeah,
Easy.
right. So
Yeah.
That's amazing.
unfortunately, they're not worth anything, but they're still like they mean a lot to me. So they're still like in my collection, but they're not like displayed here or anything.
Aw. Well, Jordan and I were talking before the show. Jordan, you've got like a binder of
Yeah.
old vintage Pokemon cards.
I
Like,
do.
is it? I guess it's like, is it worth taking those out and finding the value in them, or should we just leave it in the binder and just enjoy them that way? Right? Like I feel like as adults we get so hung up on, oh, what's the value of this? Is this worth anything? The dollar sign above the Pokemon card and all those TikToks and videos. But like, I guess part of collecting is just enjoying what you have. It's not necessarily the dollar amount. I don't know. What do you agree with that, Jesse? Or
Yeah, absolutely. Some of my most treasured cards are not like even in the top 50 or 100 in terms of value in my collection. Obviously, I do own some of the most expensive cards in the world, but I also enjoy the cards that have like sentimental value to me. Like there are certain cards that even back here.
well,
like
we're getting
these
a
guys
close up look.
Like this card is a card that we pulled when CJ and I went to Pokemon Saves the World. It was a charity ran by the Aoki Foundation in 2021. So that's when CJ first opened her shop too, and that's
Right.
when we met everyone and we met Steve Aoki. So we actually
Yeah.
opened this pack at his event and pulled this Umbreon.
Wicked.
So this is like one of the most special cards in our collection that I have like a special memory for. Well, at the time, this is like only a few $1,000s, but now it's I think 20K USD. So it's definitely worth a lot of money now. But
Yeah. But the
still,
sentimental value is higher.
it's a lot more. Yeah.
Yeah.
And let me grab one of these guys.
Dang. For audio listeners, he's opening the photo case on his wall of graded cards. Maybe one or two fell out. Whoops. But it's coming out the wall.
Those ones weren't worth anything.
So this card is one of the first cards that CJ and I pulled. Actually, this is like the first night we opened around 100 evolutions packs.
Oh wow.
And for those of you that don't know, like Pokemon sets, it's basically a 2016 reprint of the original 1999 base set. And so CJ and I opened like 100 packs and pulled 9 of these Charizards.
Wow.
So she was running around. This is when like she really got into the hobby. And to me, this is like destiny, like choosing us. Because if it wasn't for that night, like we wouldn't have the shop and she wouldn't be in the hobby and there would be no VancityCJ. We wouldn't have met all these amazing friends that we've met over the years. So this guy is like a very special card. This is one of the Charizard, the best Charizard that we pulled on that night. It was graded, and it's graded in our own company tag, the machine grading company. It was graded a tag 10. We actually graded all 9 of those, and most of them got like 8s and 7s, and this one actually got a 10. So this is probably the most, in terms of special and sentimental value, this is probably number 1 in our collection. It's only like around $2,000, so like it wouldn't make like the top 100 in our collection, but it's like to me probably number 1 or number 2 in terms of the cards that I love and we're never gonna sell. Like someone can offer me $1 million, I wouldn't sell this.
That's amazing. Yeah. No, that's so cool. I love how it's like you have a story behind your favorite cards. It's not just because it's worth so and so amount. Like that's just the bonus. You said it's worth over $1 million to you.
Yeah, exactly. Like someone can offer me whatever amount. And obviously, I'm blessed in terms of I don't really need to like sell anything like at the moment. But if I were to sell, like these are the last cards. No, I would never sell them. Like just I don't care.
Take it to the grave.
If I end up on the street, like I'm gonna grab these cards and sleep on the street.
Yeah, your cardboard box and your Charizard.
Yeah, exactly.
I hear you. That's awesome. So I want to learn more about like your collecting journey. Obviously you didn't become this huge collector overnight. You said you started around 2019 and all that. Like how did you build up your collection? Did you start small, or did you, like you said, people came to your store and just started selling collections? Is that kind of how you started?
So my journey is obviously going to be a bit different from most of the people that are listening, but first of all, I'm 32 years old. I've been like in business for a long time. So by the time I started, I already built myself like an 8-figure net worth. So I wasn't starting from zero. And at the time, at the very beginning, I wasn't thinking about the investment side at all. We were just ripping packs, which is like the worst financial decision you can possibly make in Pokemon. Like ripping packs is a fun cost. Don't think about it like, oh, I'm like an investor, bro. I'm buying Pokemon cards to go up in value. Yeah, but they're going up in value if you don't rip them, right? If you start ripping them, think of it as going out and spending money at the club or like
the casino. It's literally
casino.
Yeah,
pretty much. But the casino has better odds of return than ripping packs. So at the beginning, obviously, it wasn't like, oh, I need to build up my collection. I was just thinking, oh, I want to pull these cards. I want that adrenaline of me, like 6-year-old me pulling a Charizard. I actually never owned a base set Charizard because my mom only bought me 1 pack a week, and if I was bad, I got no packs. So, I wasn't like. I didn't have a lot of the really expensive cards. Most of the cards I had was like pretty cheap. So when I started having adult money and getting back into it, I'm like, dude, I just want to pull every card that I wanted to pull when I was a kid. But then slowly, like I said, it's not sustainable if you just keep buying stuff and ripping. Like that's just not smart. So as I got more settled into the hobby, I started looking at different parts of the Pokemon world. It's almost like an entire economy. Like it's not just like Pokemon cards and you just buy this. There's like different segments, different way to collect. There's vintage sealed collectors, there's modern sealed collectors, there's raw collectors, there's modern graded, vintage graded, trophies, Japanese, English, simplified Chinese, everything, right? So I was just like so focused on buying stuff that I wanted as a kid. So that's like vintage English, that I just started buying stuff that I wanted, and I became like somewhat known in the hobby as someone that collected these cards, right? So it's like I bought stuff that I really wanted, not what other people wanted. But it's really important to know that you have to start being smarter if you want to build your collection, because like there is nothing wrong with buying something and selling it at the right time, because even myself, I'm just very, very fortunate to be in a financial situation where I don't need to rely on selling cards. But if I don't ever sell anything, that means I have to like put the income that I make from my day job or other investments and putting it into the hobby and just keep putting it in. It's like not really sustainable. We don't have unlimited funds, right? So I started looking at things to invest in and kind of like putting my investor hat on. So I started buying stuff that I know was going to go up in value. Like, for example, in 2021, Evolving Skies came out. And I knew immediately that was going to be the set that's going to go up in value in the modern Sword and Shield era. And me knowing at the time the reprint window of these sets is around 2 years after release. So by the time 2022 rolled around at the end of 22, 23, I knew Evolving Skies is out of its reprint window. So that's when I went hard. And I think I bought 16 cases of booster boxes at the time at $300 a piece. And within 3 months, it went up to, I believe, $1,000 a box. Was it $1,000? Yeah, something like that. So a 3x in 3 months.
Wow.
And then obviously I sold some and then used a lot of that to buy Gold Stars, which is what I'm known for. I'm probably known as the biggest Gold Star collector in the world. And I bought the entire PSA 10 set 3 years ago. I started building my CGC Pristine set, being the only pristine Gold Star collector in the world at the time. And most of that came from my investments and this and Evolving Skies and Team Up Sun and Moon tag team sets and the things that I knew that was going to go up in value, and put my investor hat on, started buying up stuff. To people that listen to this, they might think, "Oh, you're scalping." It's actually not scalping. when you have a large collection, you enjoy the cards, and you're not lining up at Costco and buying it from the market, right? I'm not going to Costco. I'm not buying up London Drugs or Walmart and elbowing people in the face. I'm buying it
Costco.
on like Facebook Marketplace, on Instagram, like on the open market. I'm like, hey, I'm paying this much for Evolving Skies, sell it to me. And I knew it was going to go up because it was a statistical certainty that when it's set as popular and
it contained like chase cards and stuff
as Evolving Skies with the crazy chase cards like the Moonbryon, once it goes out of print, it's going to go up in value. It's very simple. It's not rocket science, but a lot of people don't really understand that part of it. And yeah, so a lot of it came from just buying stuff at the right time and then selling it at the right time. Like, it's almost taboo to talk about selling stuff at a profit because people are kind of sensitive right now. But I can tell all the collectors out there, if you always only buy and not sell, like it's not sustainable. And I see a lot of people selling their entire collection because they ended up burning out and they just needed the funds, right? Because it's not sustainable long term. And if you have, like, let's say $500,000 tied up in Pokemon and you didn't buy and sell the right way, and then you just, like, right now you need to pay your mortgage or something needs to happen or you need a down payment for the house, then you got to sell your entire collection. So it's better to buy and sell along the way. And keeping a personal, like, I have a personal collection that I'll never sell. We have inventory for CJ's shop that's constantly for sale. And then we have like an investment portfolio in a storage room where we will sell at the right time. So it's like, it's very separated. I have a very like distinct separation for those three buckets of our Pokemon like collection inventory.
Yeah, that's really interesting. Like I feel like people always knew Pokemon cards were like a funny kind of stock. I call it a funny kind of stock. But then to just use it towards the hobby, and that's how you built your collection through those appreciations of like your investment bucket. I think that's really smart, and I think that's what more people like should do. Like, my worry, and you mentioned the word scalper before, is like, how do those Pokemon cards appreciate in value? Is it just demand, or is it demand because like scalpers more or less buy out the stock to raise the value because there is more demand? Do you have any thoughts on that?
Well, so it's backed by the largest IP in history. Pokemon, the IP is worth over $240 billion last time I checked. So that is more than Marvel, DC, Hello Kitty combined, like the Harry Potter, like Star Wars, everything. Like you combine them together, they're not even close to what Pokemon is worth. And it's an entire generation of people, like 90s kids, that have a connection with Pokemon. And I always talk about it like this. So for the collectible industry, for it to grow this much, and especially like Pokemon being like the largest collectible asset class in the world now. By the way, side note, 60% of all cards graded by PSA CGC tag is Pokemon cards. So that is more than baseball, basketball, football, hockey combined. I
believe that. Yeah.
That's crazy the volume is nowadays. And so the people are like, oh, it's just a fad. It's going to go away. Why are people spending this much money on cardboard? I just want you guys to think about like the stuff that the billionaires collect nowadays. Like, the average age of a billionaire is like 71 years old, right? So those people are buying what? Fine art, right? They're buying antiques. They're buying like baseball cards. They're buying like comic books, right? So that demographic of people is buying that. But imagine 30 years from now, when every billionaire in the world is a 90s kid, what are we going to buy?
Yeah,
it's true.
Right? We're all going to buy Pokemon cards. So people connect with their childhood. We're all nostalgic people. That's why Pokemon can stay relevant for so long. But the difference between Pokemon and other like IPs is the fact that not just the 90s kids, like people like us, enjoy it, but the next generation, our kids enjoy it too. So we see many like cross generations of people, like dads come in with their kids, and the dad's buying like the vintage card. The kid is like buying like the modern packs to rip, right? Like there's something to enjoy for the 35-year-old, and there's something to enjoy for everything down to like the 5-year-old kid. So So that's why it's strong, and I have very strong confidence that Pokemon as like a collectible asset will continue to grow in the next 10 to 20 years, the foreseeable future. But that is not to say that the market is not cyclical and it will go up like this forever. Because I don't know if you guys watched our Poke SMP podcast, a podcast that started by me and Poke-san to talk about like kind of like financial literacy in the Pokemon collectible space. I do believe the correction is coming. Like, I believe we're just at or past the peak of 2025.
Right.
And that means the modern cards, the modern sealed product, the PSA 10s, the Tag 10s, the Beckett 10s, they're going to experience a pretty significant correction from its peak.
Yeah.
And all the people that are complaining about not being able to get cards now at MSRP will disappear the moment the drop and correction happens. They're gone. They're like, oh man, this like the righteous words like, oh, you know, Pokemon is made for collectors like myself, but I can't enjoy it because all you scalpers are buying everything up. Watch, the moment it returns to MSRP, these people will not make a sound because they'll leave. Right? And I'm super excited for that to happen. It's happened multiple times in the past. 2016 when Pokemon Go came around, Pokemon experienced a peak. And then 2017 and 18 was a very down market. Everyone sold everything at like 40, 50, 60% its peak value. And then 2019-20 hit, right? Pokemon experienced another peak with the pandemic, Logan Paul, all the influencers coming in, and it went up to the moon again. And the moment 2021 and 22 came around, everything crashed. Everyone's like, oh, Pokemon, it's over. Everything is going to zero. Right? There's no in between. And that's why people like myself that's more financially educated and have experience in investing will understand the ebbs and flows of every market and take advantage of the situation and buy when everyone's freaking out and selling, and then sell when people are saying, oh, everything's going to the moon, it's only going to go up. And so kind of like do the opposite of what people are doing. So I've been like advocating people to, it's okay to consolidate your collection into one or two big cards now because everything is at an all-time high. It is okay to sell part of your collection to maybe get that one big card that you always wanted now. It's okay to sell your collection and maybe keep that cash, you know, in something else at the peak of the market. And like I said, we're going to see this correction soon, and everyone's going to come out and say, I knew Pokemon's going to go to zero. Like, it's just cardboard. Similar to what, like, sports cards is going through right now. But, again, the cycle will repeat itself. In another 3-4 years, we're going to see another boom, and this will happen again. So,
I was going to say, like, I was actually thinking for a while, it's like, I should probably sell my Giratina V-Star. I have to pay for a hotel in Japan. Like, if this is a good time to sell, I'm gonna do it.
Absolutely, especially your modern stuff. It's really not gonna go any higher than it is now. If it does, it's not gonna be by much. You're not gonna miss out on much. There's a lot of people that came in and sold us their collections. We were like, hey, I'm buying a condo, or I'm taking my wife to Japan. I'm like, it's just things that happen. It's nice to be able to just sell your collection at, like, right now, like 75, 80, sometimes 85%. Like, in a down market, if you want to liquidate your collection, you're gonna have to, you know, get 60 cents on the dollar, or sometimes less. So right now, if you have like a nice modern PSA 10 collection, you can probably sell it for 75, 80% of the market, like, pretty quickly. So it is the time to sell if you need the money to put into something else.
Okay.
Taking notes.
And I know, I'm like, gotta make some weekend plans now.
This is gonna be an episode to go re-listen to.
Yeah. Write that down. Another point you brought up I thought was really interesting was that Pokemon is a worthy thing to collect because of this nostalgia, multi-generational nostalgia factor, which is true. Like, I definitely experienced it. Like, one of my friend's kids, he's at the right age where he's getting into Pokemon. So I'm like, perfect. I have stuff to give you and stuff we can bond over and enjoy. Do you see this kind of phenomenon happening in other kinds of collectible markets, like sports cards, of course, but is there anything else in the world that you see that is similar to Pokemon in this way.
Well, I'm sure there's other collectible markets that's similar. Like you mentioned, sports cars. There are people that enjoy watching sports with their kids and then they collect their favorite players. So that happens definitely a lot. But I don't think anything is to the extent of Pokemon, because like 5, 4, 3-year-old kids can enjoy Pokemon and 35, 40, 50-year-olds enjoy Pokemon. And it's like, it's almost like this fantasy world that they created that you all kind of like dream about being in. Like when I was a kid, I dreamt of like riding a Charizard. It's cool, right?
Yeah.
So that's every single person that's a grown up. I don't care how old you are. You want to like hold on to a part of your childhood, and this is like the best way to do it. It's like a little time capsule. So like to me, it's like the best. Best like it's the best thing that's ever happened to me, I think. The fact that I got into Pokemon cards when I was a kid, and I don't have any kids now, but my wife and I are trying, so I hope I can enjoy with the next generation, enjoy it with my kids for many years to come. But they're probably not going to be allowed to take my cards to school because I'm going to be
you're coming with it.
away.
It's coming in a suitcase and then leaving with you, kind of thing, in those armored vans.
They'll get their own little collection.
When McDonald's had that collab a while ago where they were including cards, that was probably my daughter's first experience with them, and man, some of those cards are in rough shape now, because she would have been like 3, 4 when those came out, and it was like, yeah, we'll make sure there's nothing that Dad wants in here, but then you can have them. So yeah.
Hey, that's part of the experience. Yeah, like I said, if there wasn't those ketchup stains, I wouldn't have enjoyed them as a kid. I wouldn't have the memories that I made, and I wouldn't have been so attached to them for me to come back into them when I'm 30. So it's part of the journey.
Absolutely.
You mentioned earlier in the episode that like you met some of your best friends through Pokemon and through collecting and this hobby. How important is community to you in this hobby? Like do you see them as opportunities to be friends, or is it just more of like means to an end to, I don't know, make a profit? It sounds very negative, but like, do you go into this hobby expecting to meet people and meet friends, or is it more of just you're just trying to fulfill your own collection?
Honestly, like we weren't expecting much from it. We just wanted to rip packs, and it's like a very basic way of thinking at the beginning, but that's kind of like how 6, 7-year-old me wanted to do, is find packs to rip. So it's that was just our entire mindset going in. The community kind of came after, and then we realized how much we care about the community because we met literally our best friends through Pokemon collecting. Like we spent every holiday, every birthday together. We go to every dinner together. We go on trips together. We call ourselves Tag Team GX.
Okay.
Kind of interesting because multitude of reasons. We actually, I'm one of the largest investors in tag rating.
Yeah. Did you say you founded that company, or you're just an
investor? No. I'm an investor and I'm on the board. But
okay.
I brought in a lot of my friends to invest in the company as well. And so we're all part of this like disruption, this journey of disruption together. And obviously the tag team cards, we're all big fans of it. And it represents like partnership and friendship. So that's kind of like what we call ourselves, like the Tag Team GX. It's kind of funny, but yeah, it's to me, it's the number one like gift that Pokemon has given me is our best friends that we met through the hobby. And it's also given us like so many like connections, not just in the collectibles like world, but in business as well. I've had the privilege of meeting like some of the most successful people in real estate and business and entertainment like throughout my career in real estate, finance, investing, tech, everything. But I've actually probably met and connected with more impressive people through the collectible space, because like I said, when you're connected through a common passion, nostalgia, it is different. Like the bond that you build. Like I've met some of the coolest people like in business, like Charlie Lee, the creator of Litecoin, one of my close friends now. We invest in different companies together. I've met guys like Steve Aoki, like you met
Yeah,
too.
that was
Steve
really
is
cool.
at the shop. He's a really good friend of ours. Now we actually invested in one of his companies called AMG Grading, part of our collectibles technology portfolio, and also like guys like Steph Curry, which is kind of crazy because I would think I would have met Steph Curry through like my other business ventures, but it's kind of like an interesting thing. It was technically through like collectibles that we got to meet him, and we actually we got invited to go to his birthday game, and we were in his
Cool.
personal like private suite in the back with his cousin Will, founder of Canvas Marketing. Another company we invested in, Pokémon, is built by Steph's cousin Will, and we were actually at his suite when he made the 4003 this past season. And funny story is I was like sober from I never had an alcohol problem, but I had to like drink a lot of alcohol with real estate developers because it's like a social thing that they do, and
the networking events. I hear you. Yeah,
screwed up my liver to the fact to the extent where the doctor is like, if you drink, you're gonna like die. You're gonna have to like your liver is gonna die. So I made a commitment to not drink for 2 years. Nice. So in the past 2 years, I didn't touch alcohol, but on Steph's birthday, he poured me a glass of whiskey. So I was gonna say, I was like, nah, I can't. And then Steph was like, what? I was like, oh, you know what? Like, Steph poured me a glass. I'm gonna drink this. So
special occasion,
yeah, special occasion. But yeah, like I said, like this guy is someone that I've looked up to, and he was my favorite player for like the last since he entered the NBA. And I grew up in the Bay Area, so I'm a lifelong.
Yeah.
So it's like really serendipitous that we were able to like meet him through like the collectible space, which is just like completely not something that we planned for. You know, so it wasn't the goal. Kind of interesting. Yeah, it wasn't the goal, but like I said, when you meet people, we actually, I don't know if you saw the picture, but so Steph's favorite Pokemon is Mewtwo. So my wife and I had this great idea to build him a Mewtwo binder for his birthday. And we try to collect every single Mewtwo card that's ever created in English and put in the binder. I think we fell like 5 or 6 cards short, but I don't think he cares. We gave it to him, and I saw like the joy in his eyes. Like it's like that boy just went back into him, and he was just so happy. He was flipping through the pages like, oh, this is all worth it. Because I kind of gave up building the binder. I was like, yo, this is too much work. And then my wife CJ went to like so many different card shows looking for every Mewtwo. So this was all CJ. It's actually not me. Like, I kind of gave up on this. It was too hard.
You just posted the photo.
Yeah, I just posted a photo. This is all CJ. Yeah, and the guy on Steph's left is Will. He's Steph's cousin and the founder of Canvas Marketing and Pokémon. Super talented guy that I met through the collectibles industry. Like, if I wasn't in this industry, I wouldn't have met Will. And I wouldn't have gotten to know how talented and creative he is. And I wouldn't have the opportunity to invest and be a part of Pokémon and his project. And I wouldn't have the chance to meet Steph. So this is all like none of this was planned. It all just came about because of passion. So
I mean, yeah, like I can kind of echo that story. Like I got interested into Pokemon a lot more recent than you, of course. But then I forget what happened, but there was like an incident in your store, and then I connected you with Lucas, and then you decided to do something cool with Steve Aoki and brought him in, and that's how I met Steve Aoki. So I know it's not as big as getting drinks with Steph Curry, but like I would have not had this chance to meet you or Steve Aoki if it wasn't because of Pokemon and this passion to collect and to socialize and network. Yeah,
it really is special. Like guys like Steve, like it's really hard to get a minute of their time because they're always like so busy and they're booked up. The guy has like 6 assistants, right? And managing different parts of his businesses. But because we're friends in the collectible space, like Steve would just call me like in the middle of the night, be like, just ask me questions about cards. Right? And I woke up to like a couple of missed Steve Aoki calls. I was like, oh, what the hell? I call him back. He's like, oh, I just wanted to ask you how much this card is worth. I was like, oh, man. It's kind of cool. Like he actually asked for my number when I like that's how like cool it is. Like when it comes to like meeting someone like that, when you're connected through like a mutual hobby and passion, like it's a lot easier to connect with them than if you were to meet them in like a business setting where you have to like book an interview with them. It's just completely different. And it's honestly like we're all big boys. Like we're all boys at the end of the day, like no matter how old we are.
Love that. We're all big boys in the end of the day.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And I love how you share this passion with CJ. Like you guys are a team that not only run VancityCJ.
No, is that like
how many missed calls? Oh, we don't want docs anymore. Yeah. It's okay. It's kind of out of focus.
Yeah, but I just called him back, and he was like, "Yeah, how much is that cart worth?"
Using you as a personal consultant, grader.
Yeah, great guy.
I was saying it's like so cool that you also have like a partner who is not just a business partner, but also equally as passionate as you in the hobby, and that's something you guys can share together.
Yeah, and honestly, that's what really like it's so hard to find common interests when it comes to couples and especially like marriage. I'm sure like you guys
we're
guys are married. Yeah, we're both married,
not
exactly.
to each other, but yeah.
But to your significant others, I'm sure you understand the struggle sometimes to like, I always think of passion as like almost like there's a fire and you have to like, obviously sometimes it's going to dim a little bit, but you gotta keep it, you gotta like work on it, right? And CJ and I, the moment we found our mutual passion in cards, it was like a game changer for our relationship because we both enjoy collecting ripping packs, going and looking for like, she would look for cute cards, I would look for like Suicunes, my favorite Pokemon, Gold Stars, and it's just like it really connected us. And I'm just so thankful that I have a wife that shares this with me, because I also see a lot of less than fortunate folks where the husband comes in and is like, "Hey, my wife is waiting. 15 minutes, right?" I was like, "Well, you can't. Why don't you invite her?" Oh, I can't let her know how much I'm spending here.
Yeah.
So my wife is like the opposite. Like she used to enjoy like having like some nice stuff. Like she would have like a designer bag here and there, but not like anything crazy. But ever since like we got into cards, like she like has her like $50 bag she bought from like Walmart or like I don't know,
a tote,
to carry her cards everywhere. And then she didn't buy anything for herself other than cards. Because every time I was like, "Hey, like it's our 10-year anniversary, let me buy you something." Like, she's like, "No, buy that Charizard." Charizard's gonna go up in value. Like that LV bag is not gonna go up in value.
Yeah. I mean,
like, she's like the opposite. Everything we buy, like if I want to, I'm also a car person, right? So I spend a lot of money on cars. But like recently, every time I wanted to buy a car, CJ's like, like if you put that money into cards,
cars depreciate when you drive it off the lot. Come on, we all know that.
Yeah, exactly. So every time I spend money on anything, CJ's like, "Why don't you buy another card?" It's like,
wow.
It's the opposite of what other people experience. Like my wife wants me to put more money into cards that appreciate now.
Yeah. That is very fortunate for sure.
Because she's like, you enjoy cards, and like if you're gonna spend like play money, you might as well spend it and put it into something that goes up in value. Which makes sense.
Yeah. I had my old boss said that it's like, I think my new hobby is to use my money to make more money. Like, oh, that's an interesting way to think of a hobby, but sure. But exactly. I can see there is like merit to that, because it's like one is passion and the other is it could be like a financial parachute. Not saying you should rely on Pokemon cards to be your financial parachute. Audience, this is not financial advice from me. Listen to Jesse. He's definitely got it. I wanted to ask about like what your vision for the future of VancityCJ, the store, as well as the future of, I guess, the Pokemon hobby as a whole. Like, what's your vision for it? When we are 70-year-olds, like, are we still collecting everything? Or is it a community? Yeah. Like,
I'll never stop collecting. I feel like this is a lifelong thing that I'm going to do for the rest of my life with my close group of friends. I know, like, the shop itself is almost okay. So the crazy thing about this is we actually considered closing the shop around the beginning of 2024, or like at the end of 23, because that was like 4 years into the shop, and we're like, hey, you know what, we met so many people already, like we already have a huge collection, and like we don't pay ourselves, like the shop is not like we're not making anything from it. And CJ actually drives, like we live in West Van and the shop is in Richmond, so she makes the drive from West Van to Richmond every day. At the time she didn't have like any employees, she was just her. So I was like, the opportunity cost of you spending 2 hours on the road is so high, like you might as well just do something else. And all our friends are like, oh my god, you can't, like, no, the shop needs to stay open because we will have nowhere to hang out, like we can't not have the shop. So, and that was kind of like what made me like kind of like pivot. I was like, hey, you know what, the shop, it was like a great passion project, we got it to where it was, but if we don't like grow it, if we were not going to shut it down, I'm going to try and grow it. Right. So because I wasn't involved in the operation of the shop for the first 3-4 years at all. Like it was just kind of there. And in 24, I decided to kind of like take over the marketing and the branding aspect of it. Because I do have experience running a digital marketing company. I learned a lot from my partners and my employees with branding and digital marketing. So I started taking over like the strategic part of VancityCJ and rebranded it into a shop that's for the community, but focuses on like bringing value through our content, through high-end Pokemon cards, like basically the go-to Pokemon shop for high-end like vintage graded cards. We did that through a lot of our own collection, showcasing like changing the inventory, and like in 2024, like we sold like 24 Gold Star Rayquazas. That's like rated 7 and above, and we like 13 of them is PSA 9 or PSA 10. Like pretty much like I would say like 30% of the high end Gold Star Rayquaza sales were through the CJ shop. And it was, so we did a lot of, so I kind of like took over the strategy, and her brand started like blowing up. If you look at her account and like the engagement and the views, like most of the videos, like the bottom is like 25k views, and a lot of like more than half of them get over 6 figures, like 100,000 to like over 1 million views, and it's all organic. We never spent like a single dollar promoting any of the content. We kind of just we just created it using a phone, and I just edited it on CapCut, and we started doing that in around July of 2024, the first Hey CJ video, and that's how the shop blew up. Like revenue wise, it went from like around 300k in 2023 to over 3 million Canadian in 24. And I think we're the shop is on pace to do like over 5 million in 25. So it's definitely one of the highest grossing Pokemon card shops in Canada in terms of just like Pokemon card sales. Like there's obviously like the 401 games that does like everything that does more. But still to this day, it still remains a passion project for us. Like the shop carries only Pokemon. Like we don't carry anything else. Like no One Piece, no Magic, no Yu-Gi-Oh, no sports cards. And you know how much money we're leaving on the table by not carrying those things. But because we only wanted to collect and kind of like carry what we collect and what we're passionate about, we decided to make it strictly Pokemon. And it's something that I do not advise other shop owners to do. We can afford to do this because this is a passion project for us. But if you were to run a shop, diversify obviously, because there's like the Pokemon market is going to come down, correct? Magic is going to have its time, Yu-Gi-Oh is going to have its time, One Piece had its time. So what we're doing right now is not advice, but what I'm trying to get across is this is not about profit, even though it's become a very successful like retail business and retail and resale business that we built. But still, even to this day, like we try our best to sell most of our sealed product at like the lowest prices in Canada, and like out of our own pocket, a lot of the releases, if we could do it, have enough product, we would sell it all at like MSRP, even though sometimes the market is like 2 or 3x MSRP. And after the tariffs came, like that's pretty much at cost. And we did that for Destined Rivals, we did that for Journey Together. like multiple sets. Like we did that not for our own benefit. And people are like, oh, you're just doing it for some marketing. Like, dude, we have enough marketing. There's like a lot of people coming to the shop. We're doing this to try and get as much product back to our community at MSRP, because they can't even get that at Walmart or Costco now because of people that are lining up and elbowing people in the face, right? So to us, the shop will, like, I hope it stays open forever. We're going to collect forever, and I hope the shop can continue to bring people into the community and have like people build lifelong relationships like the way that we built through the shop and collecting and with our group of friends. So yeah, it's more important to build the community to us than anything, like way more than what it brings. Like the profit, everything is just like a byproduct of that coming in.
Yeah, I really love that mantra. I think that those that give back to the community should be celebrated and should be uplifted. So really applaud you guys at VancityCJ for doing that. And I've seen it in action. Like a friend of the show, Lucas, reached out to collaborate with you guys, and then you guys, like, within, I don't know, like 2 weeks or something, set up a whole event where Steve Aoki came in. You held a meet and greet, and profits to that went to Pacific Autism Network, and that's a nonprofit that, who, like, we all know nonprofits always struggle with revenue and getting funding and all that. Like, you guys just donated that. That's amazing.
The entire not just the profit, but like all the proceeds. Well, I mean, there is no proceeds because there are no ticket sales, but all the donation, every dollar went to the Pacific Family Autism Network. And like the cost for that is like maybe $30K because Steve opened a lot of packs, and that's all like on us, right? So
yeah,
it's not just the profits, it's like all the proceeds, and we like, it's raising awareness. We care a lot about the autism community because there's a lot of people that are autistic that's in our community. I would say like 25% of the collecting community has some sort of autism.
On the spectrum,
yeah, on the spectrum. And that is why CJ and I were so outspoken when we witnessed a gentleman that had a autism or some kind of a mental disability was in the shop that got taken advantage of by two kids that were clearly targeting him. And we found out later that it was like over $1,000 worth of cards that was traded for like $100 worth of cards. And we were trying to reach the kids. They're like, yeah, we're not going to give it back, because the kid was like, hey, he agreed to it. We are kids. We need the money. And it's none of your business because you didn't get scammed. And the crazy thing is, their dad actually reached out to us and said, hey, you're a shop, you didn't get scammed. Like why do you care so much? That shows that the apple doesn't fall far from the tree. Right? Once you talk to the dad, we're like, oh, that's why your kids are like that. But yeah, like we care a lot about the community. And once that happened, it was Autism Aware Acceptance Month in April. Yeah. Steve was coming to Vancouver, so we just set up the meet and greet and in collaboration with them, and we're probably gonna do more things with those guys very soon.
That's awesome. Hey, can't wait to hear about that. Jordan, do you have any questions for Jesse or anything that I didn't bring up that you think would be interesting?
I'm an observer to this world. Obviously collected when I was young and everything. We talked a little bit about that before the show, but man, it's tough not to get in, watching, listening to all of this, it is, but we'll see.
Hey, I guess with that, you don't have to do it, Jordan. But Jesse, if you were to give Jordan, who is a potential collector, who might want to buy his first graded card, or I don't know, like first sealed product, like what is the advice you'd give to somebody who is going to jump into collecting for the first time?
Well, the same advice that I give everyone is always like collect what you love. Like don't think about anything else first, because to get into the hobby, you have to get into it for the right reason. And if you don't have something that you're super passionate about, or you don't have like a card or a set or a Pokemon that you really like, there's really no point in really getting in. Like if you want to get in as a pure investor, that's like another story, but you're not going to be able to enjoy as much as we do. So first of all, like, do you have a favorite Pokemon? Do you have something that you like growing up?
Oh, I mean, well, without a doubt. I mean, I've got, now, obviously this is the new fad, but Pokemon Trading Card Game Pocket, I've got over 5,000 cards in there. Like, it's not that I don't like Pokemon, it's simply that I'm not into the physical cards right now. But like, I've got my Charizards over here. I've got my Squirtle, my Mewtwo. Favorite 150, easily Gengar, right? So
Yeah. Oh,
Oh, and I was looking at your Instagram page before this. Yeah.
So this is the pristine, tag
Whoa.
pristine
So sick.
Gengar.
Yeah.
This was previously cracked from a CGC Pristine 10, and I believe this is the strongest. This is equivalent to like a Becca Black Label of this card, and the only one in the world.
Oh.
Yeah, this is probably like 70,
wild.
80K.
That's insane.
USD, and this is the Scourge Gengar. In my opinion, the coolest Gengar artwork ever.
Absolutely.
Scourge, and this is a tag Pristine 10.
That's awesome.
I have some tag cards I need to pick up from you guys. They've been sitting there since June. I gotta stop by.
But yeah, like awesome. I said, collect what you love first. Like that's my number one advice, and then you can get into like the investing side a bit later. If you enjoy Gengar, like rip a couple of Fusion Strike to see if you can pull the Gengar VMAX, right?
Okay.
But don't do too much because it's really hard. Right? Go for maybe buy like 5 or 6 packs because they're really expensive. You know, try to pull some of your favorite cards and see if you actually enjoy the hobby. If you do, then I would say right now, don't spend too much money on like the modern PSA or tag 10s or CGC 10s. Like the modern cards are really heavily printed. So at the current prices, when you buy it, like it's probably going to be a bit cheaper in a couple of years down the road. And there's better entry points for those cards. But if you buy the vintage cards that are already like out of print like 20 years ago, and you don't have to buy 10s, you can buy like there's a lot of very affordable vintage cards. If you like the first or second generation from 20 years ago, and like PSA tag 7, 8, or 9 for like $100 or $150. Buy every single one of those cards that you enjoy in a lower grade. Obviously the highest grade that you're comfortable with buying, but sometimes the 10 is like 5,000 and the 8 is like $80. Right? So and a lot of the times with like the manual grading companies like PSA, the 8 looks better than the 10. Right. So buy the card.
I saw your
not
clip about that too. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So go and look for some of the cards from back in the day in like a lower grade, but in like a good condition that you like.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of undervalued cards in relatively lower grades, especially when they're misgraded by one of these manual grading companies like PSA, CGC, or BGS. Not saying tag is perfect, but obviously we aim to be more consistent with the machine grading and everything. So there's a lot of opportunities out there. Buy what you want. Collect what you love first, and then maybe buy some of the older cards that are in a bit lower grades for a fraction of what the 10 would cost.
Right on. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's great. Great wisdom. And speaking of wisdom, as we close out our show, Jesse, like you've already given us so much nuggets of wisdom. I don't want to say financial advice because you always have to say not real financial advice, but I feel like from Jesse, you could probably get one or two good ones. But what's your overall piece of wisdom to leave with the world for us?
Like as in collecting or entrepreneurship
Anything.
or life?
Sure. Entrepreneur, life. One for each, even if you want. The floor is yours.
Yeah. Well, first of all, like I mentioned, right now my focus is being in the collectible technology space. And maybe I'll just like take 2 minutes to kind of explain what that means.
It's tangent.
So
it's cool.
There is a lot of areas that I believe will change in the collectible space in the next 5 to 10 years, because prior to like 24, 25, the collectible space is kind of run the same way as it did 20 years ago. Like all the grading companies are graded by humans, just like looking at it and assigning a numerical grade to it. Like the auction houses ran the same, like that you buy and trade the same way you did in 1999. Right? Everything's the same. But because this industry's grown so much and there's a lot of pain points, there are a lot of areas that we can improve and move forward with technology. And one of the ones that we identify is through Tag, which is the industry leader in machine grading technology. So what it does is the machine grades this now instead of humans, and you can scan this code to see a very comprehensive report of why this card got the grade that it got out of 1,000 instead of just one person assigning a numerical grade. And eventually the goal is to democratize grading by having a remote grading pod in every shop. So you don't have to ship it out to PSA, wait for 4 months. But you can walk into a shop, you put the card into the machine, and it gets graded and encapsulated on the spot in 20 to 30 minutes. Right?
That's insane.
So that is a goal. Once I walked into the office and I saw that, I was like, this solves all the pain points I have for grading. The consistency, accuracy, the data that backs it up, the lowers the barrier of entry to zero when it comes to grading, because I don't have to worry about my cards being stolen or lost. I don't have to worry about it sitting at someone else's like facility for 4 months. I just get it back the next day walking into a shop, right? So grading is going to change forever in the next 3 to 5 years through Tag. I also invested in other companies. Like this is Steph Curry's cousin, Will's company, Pokémon. Like this is what one of the RWA's real world assets. And yeah, this is basically combining digital assets and physical collectibles. What's really cool about this is NFTs existed and kind of like it was a thing that went really popular and kind of died down recently because a lot of collectors, they want their physical collectibles. But the blockchain technology is there for a reason. I believe in the value of the technology, not like the crypto NFT bros and how kind of like terrible group of people they are. But what the technology does is there's this thing is not only a physical collectible of this NFT. It's on the Bitcoin ordinal.
The blockchain.
It's inscribed on the Bitcoin blockchain, not Ethereum. So it's called an ordinal instead of NFT, but it's pretty much the same thing. But this now combines this digital asset with the physical collectible. So it can act as like a token of ownership. And when you buy this physical collectible or it gets auctioned out Christie's or Sotheby's, you not only get the physical collectible, but the digital asset as well. And obviously every time you transact, the original artist can get like a percentage in perpetuity. And there's like so many different applications you can use to it, but now it is real. It is no longer just a JPEG on your phone. So yeah, so we can it's actually inscribed on the Bitcoin blockchain, and you can, once you tap it,
it's got the NFC thingy. Yeah,
the NFC is in the back. Yeah, but anyways, I'll show it in detail next time. But
no, that's cool. I actually really want to learn more
really
about
cool.
that.
Like so that space, the Web3, the digital collectors and the physical collectors. There's also like other companies that we invested in, like Steve Aoki's AMG grading. It's pretty much grading of music memorabilia or like the cassettes, the vinyl, the CDs. And so that he has the backing of like all the biggest artists, and it's like basically the #1 music grading company in the world. So people will start collecting music differently in the future. And to me, I'm excited not just for the business aspect of like I'm putting millions into these companies and it's going to return, give me like a 100x return. I'm thinking about me putting into the time I put into Tag, the time I put into Pokémon. I think I can really help bring value and move this hobby forward and solve all the pain points collectors have in 2025, in the next 5 years. That's what I'm passionate about. Again, like the money and the returns and the business, that is a byproduct of what we're building. And it's like, to me, it's all I care about. Like as long as you bring real value, like the money, everything else will come. I almost never invest in the mindset of, hey, like I need to get this type of ROI to hit like these different metrics. Like to me, it's like, am I solving this problem? Is this going to change the way people live or collect? And that's pretty much all I care about. The crazy thing is, as disruptors, it's a very lonely road because like Tag, for example, everyone's calling me a shill, this and that.
I've seen the comments on Instagram.
When the people look at it from their point of view, you're like, if Tag becomes the next biggest company standard, the people that have a large percentage of their net worth tied in like PSA or CGC will have their net worth, like their collectibles depreciated, right? So they think, oh, you're thinking about, oh, you're just trying to like pump your cards up and then sell it for profit. And that is like not how I think whatsoever. And they don't understand it. And as disruptors, most people will get attacked, and it's a really lonely road to the top. But, you know, it's part of it. To me, I see all of these companies as like the Netflix that's going to disrupt the blockbusters. Like in 2007, Blockbuster had like, I think 4,000 different locations, and within 3 years they were bankrupt. So things can flip like this, especially when it comes to changing of the business model. And to me, that's what excites me more than anything. So for the next generation of entrepreneurs, I always tell them, instead of focusing on like what your return is going to be and how much money you can make, always think about what problems you can solve. Because once you solve that problem, the value you bring to the industry and the community will be worth more than you can ever like imagine when you plan it out. So yeah, that's kind of like my whole mindset.
I mean, I got it. Yeah, I agree. That's the startup mindset. For sure. I really respect that. Jesse, thank you so much for coming on the show. This has been a super awesome conversation. I know I like prepped all these show notes, but I'm like, yo, it's just jazz. Let's just talk about whatever. And I think we had some really cool conversations, not just about investing or like collecting, investing, entrepreneurship, all that, but also like we learned a lot about you and your life and your passion and how games have influenced who you are, which is kind of what this podcast is about. It's about how games influence us growing up and influence our day to day. So thank you for coming on.
Yeah.
Thank you for having me. You guys did a great job as hosts. So,
oh, thank you.
I'll keep an eye out.
Real hard work over here.
If people want to stay connected with you, Jesse, though, how can they find you? Where is VancityCJ? This is your time to pitch.
Yeah, well, I think probably Instagram. I do have so most people, that if you want to book a call with me or a business opportunity, I don't really respond to DM. So you probably need to DM my assistant, Mio. Her account is on my Instagram. But if you come to the shop on like a Saturday or something, I'm usually there for a few hours. So that's when I really have the time to chat for a little bit. So the my Instagram is jessepeng.yc, JESSEPENG.YC, and my Pokemon account is J Peng Collection. My wife and the shop's account is at VancityCJ. So Instagram is probably the social media you want to connect with us. And the shop is in Richmond, BC. So you can just search it up. It's pretty
awesome.
easy to find. So
yeah, I got to make the trip down. I got to pick up my tag cards that I got an email for like a month ago.
Did you see the grades?
I did. That was also a really cool feature.
You should. The best part about getting your tag return is having it in a foil wrap, and you can like you can reveal the card like you pulled it again. So next time, hide the grades. Don't reveal it.
Yeah.
See it from the foil wrap.
I think I accidentally clicked it or something, and I saw it. And I'm like, oh well. But my wife hasn't seen it yet, so I'll let her rip it when we get home. Thank you again for listening to Grow Up, Level Up, the interview podcast where we talk to folks about the fun and games that help them grow up. My name is Samson, aka at SamsonXP on all the socials. You can follow the podcast at Grow Up, Level Up on all the socials as well. Jordan, where can people find you?
You can find me on all socials at Sir Dr. JM. That's at Sir DRJM.
Awesome. And Jesse, once again, thank you so much for coming on tonight. Make sure to swing by the shop. If you are in Vancouver, swing by the shop and follow along VancityCJ's antics on all the socials.
Yeah. All right. Thank you guys very much.
Thank you.